let's get things started with this. Of course, I think Dune 2 is the single best movie I've seen in the last 10 years. I just think it's that good. That's how overwhelmed I was by the sheer scope, scale, and audacity of that movie. I think it's the best movie of the last 10 years. So, but I've also been very nervous about Dune 3, which we'll talk about why in a second. But two big pieces of news about Dune 3 have just come out. Piece of news number one, they've started production. The film is now shooting. So Denis Villeneuve has got to get through doing this one, and then he'll move right on to start directing the next James Bond film. So I expect to hear a casting announcement of the new James Bond probably within the next month or two, to be honest with you. So that's the first big news about Dune 3. They have started production. The other big piece of news, we've got an official title for the movie. Variety reports this. Denis Villeneuve's Dune 3 starts will shoot on IMAX cameras, has an official title. Says this, what's in a name? Denis Villeneuve's upcoming return to Arrakis is officially titled Dune Part 3. Now, you may be thinking, big deal. I think it's significant, and I'll explain why.
Oh, I do too.
And you know why exactly. So I think this is significant. It says it's officially titled Dune Part 3. Reports had called the film Dune Messiah, because that's the name of the next book. A nod to the 1969 book from Frank Herbert that the film will adapt as its storyline following Paul Muad'Dib Atreides as he takes over as emperor. On Rentrack, the film is listed as Dune Part 3. The film will also include sequences shot with IMAX cameras. However, Dune Part 3 will not be entirely shot with IMAX cameras like The Odyssey is. Following in the footsteps of Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, which is the first and so far only film to be produced that way. Okay. So, first off, the thing's shooting. You know the word I love that I made up? The
groceries?
Tangibility.
The tangibility. The tangibilization.
Tangibilization, yeah.
Is the word that I made up. Tangibility is a real word. I made up the tangibilization of Dune Part 3. Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, they've all got boots on the ground. They're out there right now actually shooting Dune Part 3. So I'm insanely excited about that.
Can't wait for that popcorn bucket.
Fleshlight Part 2. Just call it the Fleshworm. Fleshworm Part 2. That's a catchy IP name for your product. Fleshworm. So that's great. I'm excited about that. But I love the title, and I'll tell you why. As much as I really, really love Dune Part 1, and I think Dune Part 2 is the best movie I've seen in the last 10 years, I have been very nervous about Dune 3 because I don't love Dune Messiah. And I think there's a number of things in Dune Messiah that are not going to hit well with the audience. Like with a movie-going audience, I think there's a number of things that happen in the story of Dune Messiah that will not do well for an audience at all. Now, I've always said, though, even in Dune Part 1 and Part 2, Denis Villeneuve took some big liberties and made some significant changes in the story. And I said, hopefully, once we get into Dune Messiah, he will continue that and make some foundational changes. So those parts of Dune Messiah that I don't like so much, and the parts, more importantly, that I think are not audience friendly or not, it's not going to go over well with an audience, maybe he can make some changes. Now, Rob, I might be wrong here, but to me, just the fact that they're calling it Dune Part 3 and not Dune Messiah, to me, and again, I could be way wrong about this, but to me, that says don't expect Dune Part 3, even if it's based on Dune Messiah, to just be Dune Messiah. To me, this is Denis Villeneuve is going to make a lot of those significant changes we were talking about. Do I still expect a basic skeleton of the story of Dune Messiah to be there? Yeah, probably. But the flesh is going to look a lot different, I think. So I really think he's going to make Dune Part 3 his own. So I don't know. Like, again, Rob, maybe there's no significance to this at all. Maybe it's just Part 3 works better than Dune Messiah. But I honestly think there is significance to this. Now, you saw the title. They started shooting. As a big fan of the original books, what are you interpreting here?
Well, I think it's exactly what you said. Look, I would love to have for them, because Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2 are literally both halves of the first book. But like you just said, as soon as I saw the title this morning when I read that in Variety, I'm like, okay, they're going to be adapting Dune Messiah and Children of Dune into one story. I mean, a lot of people complained about where they left Shawnee at the end of Dune Part 2. It didn't bother me that much because, you know, at the end of the book when Jessica is saying, you have to be the wife, I just don't think that would have played very well after what we'd seen. So we'll see them come back, obviously, because there's children involved in all of that. It's going to be interesting, though, because Timothée Chalamet still looks quite young. And so the passage of time might be a problem. But,
although I will say he still looked very young in his Willy Wonka movie.
Right.
But in A Complete Unknown,
yeah,
once they got into the latter years of it, he's starting to shed the pure boyish look a little bit.
Yes, I agree. So look, whatever they do, I'm really excited because adaptation's adaptation. I never expect anybody to make exactly the book that you read. Some of the greatest movies. I mean, Jaws is a significant departure from the novel.
Yeah, and Jurassic Park was a significant.
Yeah, and so that doesn't bother me. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this movie. I'm very, very excited about it. And you know, if they made it a 3-hour epic, bring it on.
Well, I mean, I kind of have no doubt because if you were right, and I believe there's a good chance you are, that Dune Part 3 is going to be kind of an altered amalgamation of Dune Messiah and Children of Dune. Well, you can't do those two. You can do Messiah in under 3 hours. You can do Children of Dune in under 3 hours. I don't know how you do an amalgamated cross between and mashing together of Dune Messiah and Children of Dune in less than 3 hours. I mean, so I think you're right. I think that's probably going to be something that's going to be a very long film.
I mean, plus one of the interesting things is I remember reading once, long time ago, somebody said, or I read something that said that Frank Herbert wrote Dune Messiah because he thought people weren't understanding the fact that Paul Atreides is not a hero.
Right.
So he wrote Dune Messiah to show what happens, and billions of people die.
And I think they're going to lean away from some of that a bit. Maybe not in its entire. Like, I think the message is still there is like, don't create heroes. But I mean, listen, in Dune Messiah, what they do with Paul Atreides goes like way off the rails. I mean, it goes pretty far off the rails. And that's the part that I think is not going to play well with an audience.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But look, I'm just excited that there's going to be a Dune trilogy that exists, one of the greatest examples of science fiction filmmaking of all time, and we're going to get a third one. You know what that means? That means there's going to be a great box set of steelbooks of the 4K
There
discs.
probably will be. And listen, we all know that with these trilogies, quite often the hardest part is to stick the landing.
Yeah.
And we're going to see what Denis can do here with Dune Part 3. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Dune Part 3, which is even better, has now started filming, and we've got the official title, Dune Part 3, which made sense for the first two because it's part of the first Dune book. But now, do you think, like I think, that they're going to abandon some of the elements of Dune Messiah to work in more originality from Denis Villeneuve? Do you think they'll still follow the story adherently? Whatever you guys think about it, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.